Welcome into another Tax Talker. Today we're talking education credits. If you are in college or your kid is in college, listen up. There is a very good chance the education credit is ending up on the wrong return. This is one of the most common mistakes I see from DIY software and even experienced preparers. So often the default is the credit goes on the parent's return, and the result is simple: more taxes paid. Let's walk through where people get this wrong and how to get the credit right for your tax return this year. Let's get into it. Now let's take it to the basics. There are two possible education credits. There is the American Opportunity Credit, the AOTC. This is the big credit. This is the one that's up to $2,500, and even $1,000 of that is refundable, meaning you don't have to have tax liability in order to get the credit. The other education credit is the Lifetime Learning Credit. This is a smaller credit. This is not the subject of our video today. This is not where I see a lot of mistakes made. So where is the issue coming from the American Opportunity Credit? There's a basic misunderstanding of who should claim the credit. Does the parent get it, or does the child in college get it? Simply put, the education credit should go on the tax return of the person claiming the dependent. If the child is supporting themselves, they're not a dependent, meaning they should claim the tax credit. So this really comes down to, is the child a dependent of the parent for that tax year? Now, whether a child is a dependent can be a tough question. Many college kids can still be dependent. Parents are providing more than half their support. They're going to college, but that's considered a temporary absence. They still come home for breaks. That generally means they are a qualifying child dependent. But where people get this wrong is on that support question. Is the parent really providing over half their support? This presumption is easy to make. They're living at home for 3 months in the summer, a month for winter, and weeks here and there. It's a lot of implied rent, a lot of food that comes with that, and other basic living costs. It would not be hard to sit down and quantify that as probably $10,000 to $15,000 worth of expenses. But here's the issue. Education is part of the support. So if a student is paying for their own college education, that goes in their category for, are they providing more than half their support? And that includes student loans. Even if the parent is a co-signer on them, if the student is responsible for the loans in the future, that goes to them paying for their college. And this, of course, changes the math in a big way because college is expensive. You have tuition alone with tens of thousands of dollars with room and board as well. Not to mention, if a kid is working, they're also providing some of their basic support just through that. The math quickly changes where if you actually break out the numbers without getting into granular detail, the child is pretty clearly providing for over half their support. And in this case, that means the student is not a dependent. They should not be claimed on the parent's return, and they should be claiming the credit. This may sound like a heavy lift. Oh, now I gotta talk to mom and dad about how they can't claim it. There's a good chance they're not getting as much benefit as they think they are. Let's break down why that is. First of all, the education credit itself, that American Opportunity Credit, that phases out at $180,000 of income for a married couple. It's much lower for a single person. Typically, parents of college-age kids, they're in their upper 40s, 50s, 60s. These are some peak earning years. During those peak years, even for a middle-class family, they very well could be over that $180,000 of income and getting zero tax credit from the education side of things. Also, on the dependent side, claiming the dependent of a college-age kid is good for $500 credit. Not nothing, but keep in mind, the refundable portion alone of the American Opportunity Credit is $1,000. That's twice as much, and up to $2,500. So this is absolutely something you can look at and pretty clearly see. This isn't changing the math much on their own tax return. Even backing up from this, let's say your parents are paying for most or all of your college, and you really are a dependent during those times. There's still another thing you need to pay attention to. That is the fifth year effect. When you go to college, a typical 4-year college experience, that actually stretches across 5 tax years, starting in fall of year 1 and stretching into a 5th year of spring year 5. In that 5th year, if you go off and get your first job out of college, you're usually not a dependent. By that point, you have your normal salary now. And even if that's only half a year's worth of income, that's usually much better than whatever part-time gigs you've been picking up. You're finally starting to have income, meaning you have an actual tax liability. For that 5th tax year, you can still qualify for the American Opportunity Credit if in one of the first 4 years, your parents were not able to claim the American Opportunity Credit, which, as we already saw, based on income, if they are covering your college, there's a good chance they're over that $180,000 and we're not able to claim the credit. That is the tax talker for today. Education credits, they don't automatically belong on the parent's return. Oftentimes they're on there and not even doing any good. Remember, dependency status is the key, and the cost of your education and who's paying for it matters a great deal. As you're starting to prepare those 2025 tax returns, let me know down below what you're confused about. Love to do a video on a viewer question. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.